To run to another meeting, so she's scrambling tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for letting me jump to the front of your schedule. I always say I can be in two places at once because you can split yourself between the, 7. If it's 6 to 7, if I get there by 6:45, I'll be okay. But I can't be 3 places at once. So I've learned that I can do 2 events, and student government is at 7:15. So I'm going to stop by and say hello to them tonight. So I am the interim vice president for student affairs and enrollment. So our division is, I like to say, it's basically like being the mayor of a small town. So we basically manage everything that students get involved with, well, I shouldn't say everything, but pretty much everything outside the classroom. So how many of you have a student who's living in one of our residence halls? Right, so housing. How many of you have a student who's a student athlete or club sports? Great, athletics is part of us. You all went through the admissions process, financial aid, the transfer office. So that's the enrollment side, and new student and family programs who the Parents Association connects with. And the new students office runs orientation, so that's a part of us. How many of you have visited, or your son or daughter, health services yet? Couple. So we have our executive director of health services here tonight with you, Mary Lou Frias. Health services, dealing with both your physical and the spiritual, mental health needs of students. Wonderful programs out of that office. The student involvement in leadership. So how many of your students have said, I've signed up for these 6 organizations already? And you're trying to help them figure out, what's the 1 or 2 maybe that you want them to focus on, especially if they're a first-year student. And then all the parents in the room, I'm sure, are saying, I want my son or daughter to get a job. So career services is part of our group, and they start working with students from the first year through grad school. And so we encourage you to encourage your son or daughter to pay a visit to career services in their first year or whatever year they are in, so that they can not wait until second semester senior year and say, oh wow, I need a resume. Or, oh, I should have done that internship before. And so to help really have some planning associated with it. There's probably a couple of departments that I'm maybe missing along the way there, but basically what we do is we help bring students into the university, orient them and deal with all of the transitions from either high school or another college. Because about 50% of our first-year students are transfer students. Is anyone in the room the parent of a transfer student? Great, thank you so much for coming and participating. It's very important that we provide the appropriate support for all of our students, whatever ages they are and whatever stages they are in the process. So part of what we do is we complement the faculty in the classroom by providing a lot of educational programs outside the classroom. So learning how to be a good citizen. We encouraged people to watch the debates last night. How many watched the debate? Did anyone throw anything at their TV? Regardless of whoever you might be supporting. But we encourage the RAs to, watch the debate with students on your floor, have conversations. It's an election year. Encourage your son or daughter to be registered, do an absentee ballot. We want to encourage citizen participation in our government. We want to help your students be global citizens and develop the competencies they need to be successful in a very global, complex, diverse world. And so that's a lot of what the programs that we help our students plan and participate in. And then self-advocacy. That's a lot of what we do. We help students. They're now here, many of them for the first time away from home. I was just listening to a parent say, I think she had gone, is it 8 days without, physically seeing? 11 days, bless you, without physically seeing, her child. And that was the first time in 18 years. So that is wonderful to push the students into their own self-advocacy. How do I change a class? How do I go up and talk to a faculty member after a course? How do I go on every Wednesday, so you can tell your son or daughter this, every Wednesday from 4 to 5, they can find one of the 3 deans, vice presidents in our office. It's in the first floor of Boyden Hall, and we just sit there and hope students come in and chat with us, what's going on in their lives. Usually it's something that they want fixed or help or advice with. And so every Wednesday we're there, 4 to 5, 5:30, and hope that we see some of your children along the way. Part of my role is to listen to parents, to students, to faculty and staff, and think, how do we help students be successful? How do we help them stay on track to progress to the next year and graduate on time? That's what we're here to do. So we partner with our finance area, with facilities, with planning, with the development office to really marshal all our resources towards your students being successful. We also talk a lot about pride and trying to help students feel really good about this place. So every Friday this fall is going to be BSU Pride. Your students have probably seen people wandering around dressed with the bear and taking pictures, and the president's out, really trying to have folks feel good about being here. We in the Division of Student Affairs are basically here for you. I've been in higher ed for about 35 years, and I feel like I've kind of come home again because BSU is the type of school that supports first generation students, students in transition, students who want to find their way, and that's what we want to do, is help students become the best student citizen on our own campus, but then eventually a global citizen in our world. So any ideas you have for us, please stop by our office, give us a call, and Dean Rocco will come to your next meeting and you'll enjoy getting to know her too. So I'm sorry, anyone have any questions, issues, burning issues that you want to throw on the agenda? I sat at 3 different tables and asked what's the biggest thing that people have had to confront, and I can thankfully say it wasn't none of them were things that are not solvable. So if you want to pass on any issues to Gail or anyone else to bring forward to us, it's great. We love hearing it.
I have a question. How as a parent can I get further involved with the family association?
So that's a good one for Gail. Further involvement in the Parents Association, so I'll leave that to Gail or someone from... Yeah, she's going to talk a lot more about that. So please come by, visit us, see you at one of the games this fall, homecoming, family day, all right? Looking forward to meeting you individually. Take care.
Thank you.
So for those of you who I have not met, my name is Gail DeUlis. I work in New Student and Family Programs. I met someone this evening that said, "Oh, you're the one that sends all the emails." I'm like, I hope that's a good thing. But our goal tonight is to really share with you what the Family Association is and how it benefits you as family members to be connected to the association, and more importantly, how it can really contribute to your students' experience here at Bridgewater and really them getting the most out of their education here. I do want to pull up a different PowerPoint. Normally what we do at every meeting is we will have these announcements scrolling during dinner. These announcements are on the table so that if you want to bring a copy back with you, you certainly can do that. You can always email our office and we can attach it and send it out to you as well. But these announcements are from our campus partners from across campus, and they kind of highlight those things that we really hope you'll take note of and maybe remind your students about. So a lot of good information on those announcements. And bear with me here, trying to get this.
Gail, while you're busy, may I give a pitch for clinics that are on campus?
Go right ahead, Mary Lou.
So, I work with a wellness center, and your students will tell you, oh no, there are not flu shots here. That's wrong. Right now, we have a golf cart that's going around campus that they can actually get a flu shot free from the golf cart. Everybody wants that, but we do find when one person steps up, then we have others. Normally, flu clinics are given certain days, and they're on this announcement. But truth be told, if students walk in Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:15, they can get a flu shot. That we don't take cash, so it's on the Connect card. But for $10, they can get a flu shot here without having to go home. So when they tell you no, there aren't any, that's not true.
So thank you, Mary Lou. So, again, pretty much tonight's layout is we hope you're feeling welcomed already. We hope the start of this program, the 6 to 6:30, is a great opportunity for all of you to network with campus partners that are here from across campus, to even speak with each other, as parents of college students. You can learn so much from each other. But we will always have, the room full of campus staff from various parts of the campus as resources for you. So I want to do a little bit to introduce those folks to you and the work that they help us with throughout the year. I'm just going to make it really quick, and then I'm going to turn this over to our e-board and David Offit, the president of the association, to really take on the rest of the meeting, because this association is really your association. How many of you are a new first year or a new student here? Lots and lots of new faces, that's what I thought. But then there's a lot of familiar faces too. So I so appreciate seeing all those familiar faces. So what we really want to accomplish tonight is we really want you leaving here tonight understanding what the association is. So that's our number one priority. If you don't leave here tonight and you still have questions, please know that I am always available to answer your questions via email, or you can call me. And our e-board is also very open to speaking with any one of you further if you have any questions. So first off, new student and family programs. Dr. Jablonski referred to our office as really the office that your student kind of touches base with first after admissions. Our number one goal is transitioning our new students. But more importantly, it's also, I don't understand why this is doing this. I'm sorry. I'm going to just kind of wing this for right now. It's transitioning on me. Dawn, do you want to come up, do you think, so I can keep talking and you can maybe fix the transition? Thank you. So, new student and family programs. We're a new department in the Division of Student Affairs. We are 2 years old. We're heading into our third year. And again, we're here to transition. We transition new students, but then we really work and partner with families and students throughout the 4 years. Our program really values who you are and what you bring to the table. This is our logo down here. Thank you. You'll notice it's a compass because that's what we do. We help students navigate this campus. And your logo as the association is an anchor because we understand that very often you are that foundation for your family member, for your son or daughter. And in between here are all the programming that we do throughout the year for you. Christina McCauley is our director. Heather is our associate director for New Student Family Programs. I am the assistant director focusing on family programming. Shannon is our administrative assistant. And we are so fortunate this year to have 3 graduate assistants in our office. I'd like to introduce Dawn Felt. She's in the back of the room. Dawn, can you raise your hand? She's someone else that you're going to get a lot of emails from. She's working very closely with a lot of the programming related to families. And then Casey. So this is our team in New Student and Family Programs, and we are your base camp, so to speak. We really connect you to the rest of the institution. I am really excited this year to have 3 student ambassadors that are working in our office, each of them about 10 to 12 hours a week, working strictly on supporting families and the programming that we do for you. 2 of them are in the back of the room. Can you raise your hand? So we have Vaughn and we have Emily. Both of them are seasoned orientation leaders. They know this campus, they know it well. They took part in our New Student and Family Orientation this past year. And that really was a requirement for me. They either had to have done 1 year in our office and really understand our philosophy of working with parents and students, and first-year students especially, or they had to have been an orientation leader. Love having them a part of our team. Sammy wasn't able to be here, but those are some names you likely will see too down the road in communications. 2 other students who were supposed to get their pictures up here, but are waiting for that to come on board, is I have 2 family student orientation coordinators this year too, who are helping to plan the program for next year. They're getting ready to hire a staff of 60 new orientation leaders so that we can begin the process of bringing in next year's students. But that's a great experience for students. So as family members in the room, just know that recruitment process for the orientation leader role is going to be launching at the end of October. And if you experienced or observed or went to orientation, observed students in that role, and you see your son or daughter, as with the potential, please encourage them to apply. We'll be doing definitely some more marketing and PR around that, and I will share that marketing and PR with all of the family members too, so that you know. We could not do what we do in the office without support across campus. These folks, our family ambassadors, are a group of individuals that really do value working and partnering with families. They not only attend family association meetings to be here to network with you, but very often they're behind the scenes. They're working in all kinds of programming behind the scenes for families and students. They write articles for our newsletters. They're just always there if there's an issue. They're always willing to pick up the phone and have that conversation with a family member. So they're so incredibly supportive, even beyond the association. But they do come to these meetings and they love it. They absolutely love it. We have Mary Lou Frias, who just got up and gave you that little spin on the flu shot. Mary Lou is retiring this year, so this is her last year with us. She's been here since when? 2002. a long, long time. So we're going to so miss her and her passion. She loves students and she loves her work, and it shows. Katie Bagan is from Career Services. So she's here at all these meetings as well. Lots of announcements. We often partner with that department to make sure that you're informed of all the things going on, because you really want to encourage your students to be connecting with Career Services first thing. Diane Place from Financial Aid, complex area, so she's always here and always helping you guys out. Sydney Merrill couldn't be here tonight, and Shelley Keniston either from Res Life and Housing, but they're normally in the room as well. Great. They have lots of knowledge and information on student transition and residential living. Diane Bell, she's from our internship office. She's also a wonderful resource. And we always have someone here from Administrative Support Services. Tonight we have Sue Denise. Margarita Vieira couldn't be here, and Sue came in her place. So it's either Margarita or it's Sue. And they work on Connect Card, dining, all of food plans. So you can see that we've got a lot of expertise in this room. But if you have questions that we don't have answers for, one of us can absolutely get you connected to that resource for sure. Now that you know everyone in the room, now that you know a little bit about New Student and Family Programs and where the Family Association resides within the institution, I am going to turn this meeting over to David Offit, our president of the association, and he's going to share with you a little more about who we are and what our purpose is and why you're here.
I might need some help with the slides, but I figured before I go to that, I just want to share with you guys a little bit. There's 4 different levels of competency, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but there's the level where you're unconsciously incompetent. And I'm talking because whose kids are first-year college kids, as parents of first-year college kids? Okay, that was me a couple years ago, so that's why I'm going to share this story with you and why I'm a part of the association. So there's unconsciously incompetent. That's where you don't have any idea of what you don't know. And then there's conscious incompetence. Now, conscious incompetence, you realize that, my kid's up at the college, and I know that I don't know what's going on. That was me when I came and sat in the room for the first meeting. So there's unconscious incompetence, then there's conscious incompetence, and then you get to the level of consciously incompetent. So I realize that I don't know this stuff. And then the other level is consciously or unconsciously competent. So I hope I didn't mix that up on you. So I'm at the place now where I'm unconsciously competent about what's going on with my son while he's at the college. Now I'll share this with you too. My son didn't want me here. And that's the case with some of your kids. They don't want you here because they don't want us in their business. So, and I'm for real, I'm not in his business, but I need to know what's going on. I need to know what's going on at the school for safety concerns, as well as what's going on in his life. Because 2 years he was on campus, and now he's back at home. That was his choice. He wanted to be at home. He's got a girlfriend, and stuff's going on. But anyway, so I'm glad he's home, but at the same time, I'm not. When I was in a meeting at the orientation, they said, listen, it's not a surprise if your kid's a commuter and he's coming home at 1 or 2 in the morning. Don't be surprised. They are really studying and getting things done. And that's the truth. They are. But when they come home, they're still coming from campus at 1 or 2 in the morning. So he's waking me up. He's making a mess in the kitchen. I was just talking at the table. I went to bed last night. I'm going to get to the notes, but this is a big deal for me. I went to bed last night with my 16-year-old. He cleaned up the kitchen. Everything's spotless. And we went to bed. The debate put us to sleep. So we're in the bed, and this morning I wake up to make breakfast, cut fresh fruit and get, all the stuff ready. The kitchen's a disaster. You know why? Because my college kid's home. So I might bring them back on campus. Okay, so with that said, I'm glad you guys are here, and it's a great group, but we couldn't do this without the support of the rest of the team. And to my right is my wife, who is the boss of me, Deetra. And Deetra's role on, she's a family ambassador. Then we have Lynn, who's also a family advisor. Lise, who's also a family advisor. Lisa, who's the secretary. And Karen, who's also the boss, who's here. And you'll hear from her shortly as well. She's just an amazing help. And I say that because I don't have a college background. And that's why it was critical for me to jump in with both feet. I don't. High school education was it for me. So when my kids come to the college, I need to understand what's going on. So I really had to jump in with both feet because I don't want them snowballing me. And I didn't even know what a GPA was. You know, what does that mean when I first started coming up to the college? But being here has educated me. Being here, I got to meet somebody like Sydney Marrow. Now, Sydney Marrow, my son was in her class. And I met her here. No, actually, I've known Sydney for some years because I know her husband, Bo, and his brother, Eugene Marrow, who was the principal at Brockton High School for years. But anyway, we developed a stronger relationship when my kid was here. So what that gave me was somebody that put eyes on him. And you know what? When he was messing around in class, she sure enough says, it took him out. It says, listen, I know your father. I'm not going to accept this kind of behavior. Talking in class, talking out in class, that kind of stuff. And that's the relationship I wanted to develop from coming here. To let the faculty and the staff know, listen, if my kid's not being the best that he can be, call him out, challenge him, and then let me know. And she did, she let me know, which was a beautiful thing. So anyway, thanks for the team and the support that we have. Now, can somebody help me with the slides? Anybody want to volunteer? Help with the slides? Okay, yeah, just a click. Okay, so we were talking about the Family Association and the Executive Board. So that's the Executive Board. Now, we appreciate you guys being here because the more of us that, we're kind of like an outreach. If we pull together, then we can get some ideas, we can get some creativity, we can get more involved in what's going on in the college and what's going on the campus. So that's the reason we have these meetings. Not only so we can get educated, so our voices can be heard as well. So that's important. But what's happening at the issue, okay. Meet each other. That's important. In the book that I read, it says, iron sharpeneth iron as a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friends. So when I'm here and I'm interacting with another parent that might be going through some challenges, and when I think about GPA, and when I think about, and this was helpful, one of my office admins helped me with this. First year, I had no idea how to log in, figure out what classes he's in, what his GPA is, what's going on. Okay, super. I had no idea the first year. Second year, I got a little more advanced. Now this year, I'll tell you what happened. I text my son today to pick up my other son from the college. I text him, it had to be about 4:15. And I says, listen, can you pick your brother up because me and your mom are going to be up at the college. So pick him up from high school and bring him up. This is unconsciously competent is where I'm at right now. I said, pick him up from school and bring him home. I didn't get a return for my text. This is what I learned in the rooms. So what did I do? I looked at his schedule. And I realized that, okay, Tuesdays, what's today? Today's Tuesday? Tuesdays and Thursdays, he's in class until 4:45. Look at that. He doesn't know I got his schedule, but I got it. I got his Air ID, I've got his password, because I haven't paid the bill. You know? And I'm going to tell you what else I learned why I'm here and why you should be in the room. Okay, so I looked and I said to my wife, I said, okay, he's in class at 4:45. Sure enough, he texted me right afterwards and said, I'll pick him up. What time? Super. I got my eyes on him. All right, now, what else I learned is when he came home, the college bill is thank you to BSU that it's not crippling. It's really friendly to us, you know. So anyway, when he came home, we had to adjust the bill because he's not on campus anymore. So I got the bill. Now keep in mind, unconsciously competent. I got the bill and I said, no, this doesn't make sense. It's more than I expected. So I looked at the bill, I printed it out, I says, okay, health insurance is still on. He has health insurance through me. So we need to delete that item, right? Unconsciously competent from being in the room here, why we're here today. So we deleted that off. And I looked again, and I says, it's still too high. No, I'm not comfortable with this. What was still there? The meal plan. And my son is 20. He's about 6'3". It's just a skinny little toothpick. But he's 6'3", but the boy can eat. So we had the best meal plan you can get. So there's a couple $1,000s still on there. And I called him up. I says, Dan, why is the meal plan still there? Unconsciously competent because I'm in the room, right? This is what I'm learning, why I'm here. He says, Dad, I got to eat. I'm still on here. I look at his schedule. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, he's not here till noon. You can eat breakfast at home, at lunch, if you need to. So what I'm getting to is I let it slide for this semester. We just was at the table earlier and learned that it's the semester. I let it slide for this semester. Next semester, I'm downgrading him. I'm sorry, BSU, because I know it's a profit center. I'm downgrading him to the basic meal plan, which is only $500-600. So I'll save a few more bucks, which works out pretty well. I learn all that because I'm in the room. I learned that there's a clothes drive. And there's some kids that are on campus that need clothes. They need to go to interviews. They need ties. They need suits. They need those kinds of things. I learned that because I'm in the room. I can give back that way. I learned that there's a road race. And I'm not going to steal the thunder. I learned there's a road race. It's the Falmouth road race. I'm an athlete. I don't know if you noticed that. I run. I work out. You know, I should play professional basketball. I might probably Tom Brady if he's going to be out for a run. Anyway, so I decided I'm going to run this Falmouth road race. Wow. That was a beautiful thing. I automatically got a number. And I got one coming for next year because I'm here. Anybody else that wants to run? Come on, participate with us. You're running with me the Falmouth road race. I didn't win it this past year. I missed it by about 38 minutes. But next year, I'm going to nail it. Okay. So I wanted to share a little bit about that. Now, the purpose in the role, what slide are we on?
You want the next one?
Yeah, next slide. Yeah, purpose in the role. Purpose in the role. And I touched a little bit about that, the purpose in the role. I think about things like Family Day. I'm actually here and I'm looking at other parents and it's it tickles me a little bit because when I look at the freshmen coming in, their parents here, and the parents are kind of walking around like, wow, what am I going to do? This is overwhelming. And you can tell the new ones. The new ones meaning the parents that this is their first time, it's their first child because they just work circles around us. You know, the kids, one, they move fast. Their energy level is just, anybody who's 50 or plus. And I was surprised to hear you're retiring. You look like you're 40. Life is treating you well. Good for you. But I'm 50 plus, so my kid moves around fast. You know, in the first year we're up here, I'm walking around and I don't understand and he doesn't understand. And I just need to know better of what's going on, you know. So second year he shared just a little bit with me. And I was concerned because I said my kid's a little skinny kid. And when he graduated Brockton High School and I go in his bedroom to sort of hang out and talk with him for a little while, because that's an emotional time for our kids, the 12th grade going, you know, ending for them, all their friends and so on. And he's listening to the CD from the graduation, and it was Boys to Men. I remember it like it was yesterday, singing It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday. And the kid's all choked up and he's crying and he doesn't know how he's going to get through this difficult time. You think he thinks about high school now? Not for a second. But he does still have some of the friends. And that's the other reason I want to be on campus. I want to know who my son's friends are. I want to know him on campus and I want to know him at home. There was one situation in his first year where there was a kid that he shouldn't have been friends with that might have been going through a tough time, but he was stealing stuff. You know, I don't want my kid associated with that. He was stealing stuff from my kids, so that easily canceled the friendship. Plus, you know. But you got to watch out for that. You got to watch your kids and see what's going on. My son knows I'm here now. And he knows I'm staying involved now, and I think he better understands why. You know, because Papa needs to know what's going on campus, because I want to be unconsciously confident about what's going on. I don't want to be a helicopter parent, but I want to be involved. I want to understand. I want to meet other parents. I want to give back. I want to make a difference, and that's what life is about. You know, so that's participating in a road race. That's donating to the clothing drive. That's many kids don't have money to even get gas to go. And that was the Falmouth road race. We raised over 10 grand. And for him to know that Dad cares enough to be in the room, that Dad cares enough to be involved, that says a lot, though he won't say it. He knows. I call myself Papa to him and he doesn't like it. But realistically, he knows how much that love is for him because we're taking time out to commit to coming down to the college and spending time. So many parents, and we all have busy schedules, but I schedule it in. I know when the meeting's going to be, I schedule it in. I know when the conference call is going to be, I schedule it in. Whenever I came in today at 5, and I was fortunately taught how to do, what was it called?
Google Hangout.
Google Hangout. So that's what you get here. As a, 50 plus, I'm not a tech kind of a guy, you know? So now I know how to do Google Hangout. I don't think my kid's going to do Google Hangout with me, but, somebody will, which works out pretty well. I don't want to keep you too long, so I'm going to keep it moving. What's on the next slide? update. I think this is
Yeah.
yeah, this is I'm gonna move on to your way. Thank you.
A student whose family member is still back in their home country, and there's been an emergency, they don't have the funds to run back there. And we want to make sure they come back after that experience of being with their family. A local student, a commuter, cannot stay in school, is not able to find the resources within their own financing, their cost of their car, the cost of their commute. The emergency fund is an opportunity for them to go to the school and see if they can qualify for some assistance. We do our small part. David runs. I work with writing letters. I talk to parents. I attend all these different events to help promote the association and what it means to be a part of the association. And that means that we are helping students stay in school, really benefit from the BSU education, have the experience that we want our children to have, and the experience of being a very successful, very happy, healthy alum of BSU. So that's part of my role as the advancement member. And we also have a scholarship fund, which is a more traditional scholarship that goes for assistance with tuition, correct?
Yeah.
So that's a more traditional, where it's a fund that we contribute some of our fees and resources into, and we support through the financial aid process, scholarship funds. The only other thing I want to say about why to join the association, people are saying how, really, you just did. You're here. Every family is a member of the association as soon as your student accepts and deposits here. But you're now active because you are physically in this room. You're active just by reading the emails and the newsletters. You're active by coming to the Time to Talks, coming to homecoming. Volunteering. There's lots of volunteering opportunities that'll be coming up over the year. Just watch those newsletters. Gail said, too, that the board, so most of the board is sitting right here, and we're going to be here, so we'll be walking around. Just ask us. So my son is a senior. Woo-hoo! So excited. I've got great news for Diane Bell.
Yeah.
Because my son, through the internship office, got assistance to get to an interview for a summer internship, which he got. He worked full-time this summer as a toxicology research scientist, because he's a bio major, and he now has a verbal offer.
Wow.
I can't guarantee that for everybody, but what I do guarantee is that this network of parents, along with the network of staff and the faculty, I cannot speak highly enough about the faculty here, and I have some credibility because I actually work at a private school in Boston, so I know good and bad faculty, trust me. BSU, probably some of the best. My son, a lot like many of the students here, did not do well his first semester, struggled his second semester. I didn't think we were going to keep him here. And yet his faculty, when I finally, through this association, meeting different people, reassured me about which faculty over in the bio to introduce him to, I encouraged him to go. Slightly threatened, but I encouraged him to go. He did. And I think he did because he wanted to come back and tell me, Mom, you were so wrong. You made me go talk to people and they don't care about me. He never said that to me. And his whole life turned around. That one meeting gave him faculty research on campus to help reconnect him back to his academic program. And then, the ending is where we are now, and I couldn't be happier. I'd be a lot happier if I could have gotten my second one to come here. But he didn't. He went northern woods with me. So, but that's all I want to say as far as the Family Association. Lots of opportunities to get involved. You are already in it because you're here. Please speak to any one of us. Yeah.
While you mentioned newsletters and emails and a second meeting, I'm a new parent. I haven't gotten any newsletters or emails.
Okay.
And I don't see a second meeting on the calendar for the semester. They're supposed to, it says, this little brochure says there are 2 meetings a semester, but the calendar doesn't show them.
Yeah. Do we have the second meeting?
So, what we've done is we have introduced the Time to Talk series, because what we were doing is we were holding 2 meetings. We were having speakers,
Oh, that's right.
and at the end of the meetings, all the parents were saying, that was awesome, I wish my student was in the room. So we revamped some of the reasons why we bring you back to campus, and like David said, we removed all the boring stuff tonight. Well, they're doing all the boring stuff at the end of the month at a meeting. So the e-board's kind of sticking with some of the business stuff, and we're gonna keep that educational component as part of the Time to Talk series. So on November 9th, that is going to be on career development. There's gonna be a panel of employers that are gonna come to campus and talk to you with hopefully your student present about experiences, how they perceive experiences and how they perceive the skill set based on that experience. For instance, let me give you a quick athletes. There are some employers, Diane will say, that when they see a 4-year athlete, they're automatically going to put them in the interview pile. The reason being is that they know from experience athletes tend to be pliable. They are team players. They know how to fail and pick themselves up. So there's just skill sets that they see. A student might have had a study abroad experience. What does that employer see because the student had that experience? So I guess we're trying to make the connection with the students in the room. That yes, we say get involved, we say have these experiences, do an internship, maybe study abroad. Why are we saying this? And the bottom line is employers are looking for very specific skills, and there's ways you can build those skills over the 4 years that you're here. So to answer your question, this needs to be updated. At the time it went out, we were working on some of this new behind-the-scenes stuff. So as a new department, we're kind of revamping and listening to what you're saying. So we're trying to do programming where the student can be in the room. They don't have to be, but if they can be, it's a great kind of way for you to connect on some important topics. February is financial literacy, and in April, it's personal well-being and the importance of understanding why you need to do that for yourself. So those are the Time to Talk series for this year. The next Family Association meeting will be in March. I believe it's March 15th. This e-board will be meeting, 2 or 3 times between that, preparing for that next meeting. Does that make sense?
And how do we get on the newsletter and the email list?
So did you get our email about this meeting?
No.
Talk to me about that at the end.
Okay.
To answer your question, though, we do have a new student family program website on the main site. So if you're not getting communications from us, under parents, that you'll find our department, and there's a family section there. No, they're not on there. We send them out through your email. We use a server called MailChimp, so that we upload our database and it goes out. Those kind of communications go out. You probably should have gotten one this week about homecoming and family day. So if you're not getting those communications, can you please talk to me at the end? Has everybody seen our website? Okay, great. So you can get to that from the homepage. So bear with us because we are making some changes and shifting, and it's trying to get some of the PR and the printed material up to date.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Good question, though.
So just to, like I said, we're all going to be in the room for the remainder of the evening, not the whole evening, but we'll be here for the evening. Please, we're all mentors by heart too. So as this is my last year, because my student's a senior, I would love to share what my experience and story is with the association and different ways to get involved, so that I would like to replace myself with 5 more members. So please take advantage of us when we're at these meetings. We love to talk about our experience. We wouldn't be doing what we're doing if we didn't believe in the BSU mission and success. So
We do have about 5 minutes, David. Do you think we could maybe fit some more announcements in from our ambassadors that are in the room, Diane?
Falmouth Road Race, and they're thinking about some other things as well. Thanks to the generosity of this group as well, we've been able to provide professional attire for our students. So as David alluded to, there are students who are getting ready for that first interview, the internship and job fair that's coming up. I know Katie's going to talk about that. And a lot of them don't have professional attire to wear. So we actually reached out to faculty and staff, and also to this group, to alumni. And we have a wonderful closet in my office. If you're ever on campus in the campus center, feel free to stop by room 204. You'll see it on here. And see what so many people have donated to our office. I was sharing earlier today that I don't have children, but to actually have a person come in the office and try on a suit for the first time, they didn't know how to tie a tie, at least my assistant knew. I had no clue. But to see the pride and the confidence of a young man coming out in his wonderful suit, ready for the interview, we couldn't find Kleenexes fast enough to stop the tears after the student left. But it's a service that's free, so students can come into our closet, take a look at what we have. They can walk away with 1, 2, or 3 items. It doesn't matter. We don't want it back. We want the student to keep that. And we just rely on our parents. We rely on faculty and other staff to replenish those items. So at the back of the, actually when you guys leave, I'll have this on the table. It's just a little bookmark that tells you exactly what we were looking for. And I think our contact information is on here too, so if you want to call us or email us, let us know. We can run out to the curb, pick it up, and bring it up to the office. Or during Parent Family Day, I'll be on campus. You can, bring it then. But you had a question?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, where can we bring it?
Oh, yes.
In my Philly, what is their whole closet?
Wow.
Clothes that don't fit anymore, there's like 7.
Well, you will come my way for sure. So I'm going to leave these out of the back. I'm also going to leave some brochures on the internship program office. So I'm just going to send those out. But thank you so much, and I'm going to stick around for a little bit too if you have any questions. And congratulations to your son. That is awesome.
Hello everyone, so I'm Katie, I'm from the Career Services Office, so I work very closely with Diane. Just wanted to give a couple announcements on behalf of our office. We are having a big internship and job fair next week. So all of your students, whether they are first year or seniors, are welcome to attend and encouraged to attend. So it's our internship and job fair Thursday, October 6th, and it will be in the campus center from 1 to 3. So that event will have 60 different employers on campus here to talk to students about internship opportunities and full-time jobs for seniors. In addition to the 60 that will be here, we'll have about 50 other companies taking resume collections. So we're doing that because we couldn't physically fit them in the room. So that's a good sign. That means that a lot of employers are interested in our students. So we have that event every semester, but again, it's coming up next Thursday. We recommend your students dress professionally and bring printed copies of their resume. So they can come to Career Services to have it critiqued any day between 11 and 2 for our drop-in hours. So that's a very big event coming up. I also wanted to mention our Job Shadow program. We do this program during winter break, and again, any student, first year through senior, can apply to go to a Job Shadow for a half day or a full day during the first or second week of January. And what they get to do is go to that company and shadow the professionals that work there, observe what they do, and kind of test drive that job for the day. Really great program, whether your student has no idea what they want to do, or if they think they know what they want to do. A lot of times they'll come back with a much better understanding of what the real world looks like. So, like Diane, I'm going to leave our fall calendar on the back table. It has all of the events for the fall, in addition to information about our CareerLink database of internships and jobs, and a couple other items too. But feel free to find me if you have specific questions. So, thank you.
The government is opening up the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, on October 1. Generally, it doesn't come out until January, but they have decided to use what we call prior income. I think it's like that. So this FAFSA will again be collecting data from the 2015 tax year, which by this time, mostly everybody has done that. So there'll be no need to, I didn't, file my taxes yet, I had to wait for this and that. Everybody should be filing on time, which means we're going to have no money at all to give out next year, because every student will be on time. I'm kidding about that. We have not changed our priority filing deadline. It is still March 1, so that gives a lot more time for students to file, get their paperwork together, and to be on time. So I really, really encourage everyone to check it out. So really next month, the FAFSA, the 17-18 FAFSA will already be available. Yeah, if you need some help, let us know. Glad to direct you. And the first disbursement for financial aid for this year is scheduled to be out within the next couple of weeks, the first weeks in October. So that's that.
I'll close us out. I promise I won't be more than 20 minutes.
Can I just make one note? The calendar that you all have in the room, I just want you to know that Drew here, who's videotaping our meeting, actually designed that calendar. Meeting so that hopefully we can put it up online for those family members who can't be here. They may be too far away, or they just couldn't be here tonight for other obligations. So we're trying to do more of videotaping of our programming to be able to share with those who can't be here. Thanks, Drew.
Now, you've heard Time to Talk a couple times, and that's a series that goes on. Last year we had a Time to Talk that was mindful eating. Amazing. You think you know it, but again, that was where I was unconsciously incompetent, and I went in the room and I learned what I should be eating and shouldn't be eating. It was an extremely educational thing for me, so I enjoyed being in that. The Time to Talk series are very helpful, and they're not rushed, so there's time to interact and you can talk about what's necessary to be talked about. Anyway, so you can see, well, it's not on there anymore. Saturday, October 15th, Homecoming and Family Day. The President's Breakfast, you have to register for that. Now, the President's Breakfast, I was there last year, and I had the pleasure of sitting at the table with the President, which was pretty cool because you didn't know it, the President, so we had two presidents at the table. So who do you serve first? Which president gets served first? Anyway, no, realistically, I was scheduled to be in Florida with my wife for some training during this series for the, what is it called, the luncheon or the brunch. But we're really considering not going and putting it off for a couple of reasons. But I don't want to miss that because that's the time that my kids right there with me, we're walking around campus. You know, there was a football game, a parade going on, a football game later in the evening. I felt like I was 15 again. And my kid was right there with me because we went to the bookstore and I spent money, so he wanted to be with me. But it's a great time to just hang out with your child, be on campus, watch the parade, interact. If you stay up late and watch the football game, it's not too late, but when you get in the 50s, you'll understand late is past my time. But I enjoyed you guys being here, and I hope that you will be back for the next one with that some sort of.
So what should we do now? What should the new parents do now?
I'll be at the next meeting. Without question.
Time to talk.
Yeah, I would say I would show up for home. That the next thing is going to be the homecoming on the 15th. If you haven't been to one, I would say be at the homecoming. But that's just going to further strengthen the feeling and the thought of I want more involvement. Because you're going to see all the activity and the things going on. You're going to see the expressions on your kid's face. And when I'm walking with my son and he's interacting with his friends, and he's kind of proud of dad, when I'm walking with him. Not really, but it's an exciting thing to see too because I get to see the quality of the friends, I get to meet the parents and all that kind of good stuff. But it was just a great time to participate in that. So I don't want to miss it. And I would urge you to be in the room too. So that would be the thing I say that I would suggest to do next. And then afterwards, if you really want more involvement, meet with us, talk with us, and see how it's affecting us and how it's affecting our kids and what we're learning. I just wrote down a note because Gail talked about, and Gail, I'm going to shut up in 30 seconds. Gail talked about an athlete, my 16-year-old, he's 300 pounds. And it's unfortunate because he's eating what he wants, and it concerns me, so I'm taking him to the doctor. I'm trying to get him to say, you can't do that. Where at home he finishes eating, he lays down, and I said, son, don't lay down. Come on, sit next to your father. So he's starting to listen now. But when you talked about an athlete has resilience. And that's why their applicants are, the people are looking for athletes because they know how to lose and then how to get back up. They know how to commit and be a team player. So now I have something more to talk to my son about. You have resilience. You're an athlete, and it's the truth. He's a football player. And he thinks, and the coach at the high school isn't concerned about his health, he just wants to hit hard, just hit hard, be strong. He's a strong kid, no question, he is. But I want him to be healthy, which is important. So I can talk to him more about, I wrote that note down because that's a good angle to talk to my 16-year-old about. Because me talking to him about his health isn't enough, but if I can talk to him about his resilience and his ability to interact and respond, to be a team player and motivate and the whole thing, that's a whole nother conversation. I look forward to sitting and talking about it. I'll wait for the quiet moment, because you know how we got to time it with our kids. We got to wait for the quiet moment where we can just sort of throw that idea out, and then, if they respond to us, we can, elaborate just a little bit more. But I learned that this evening. I'm going to use that. So anyway, thank you guys for your time. It was great.
Someone had mentioned volunteer opportunities, so there's no sign-up sheet or any, programs that we can get involved in with the association?
There are somebody's holding up the little card, let us know your interests. We do collect these, we do. What I would say too, as Gail said, we made a conscious decision to separate the e-board, which would have been the business portion of this particular meeting, out so that we could bring more information programming to the parents, the time to talk. It's been a 2-year process of figuring out what the right structure is. Behind the scenes, you're going to start seeing a lot of information from us because the e-board is about to meet to talk about what will be our additional endeavors on behalf of the school. So continuing to promote the coat closet. We're looking at some initiatives that are important to BSU around peace and justice. Of course, the road race, it comes up a lot sooner than we think. We need lots of kids around that. So we're going to be looking. So your cards are really important to us because we do want the association to reflect the interest of those who are coming to these meetings. And if we know more about what your interests are, what aspects you want to get involved with, tell us. Because just as we have the ambassadors here, we can reach out to those other areas if they're not in this room to say, how do we advise the parents to get involved? That's what we're here for. We're help to facilitate this communication, good communication, positive communication, but also as a resource when maybe something isn't going quite so well. But these cards.
I would say one of the things very recently that Karen, Lisa, and I believe Lynn and Joanne helped out with at our block party on Move-In Day. They were at that leadership tent and they were networking with new families and talking with new families and that was just wonderful and they really shined and people noticed. Dr. Jablonski, I always have such a hard time with her name, was just so impressed with the knowledge and the energy that the association had. So that was an opportunity to volunteer. We have admitted student days coming up that admissions will call and say, hey, do you have any interested parents that may be interested in just speaking briefly about their experience, their son or daughter's experience at BSU. So we partner with other departments and we'll put a call out via email.
This is here, I think.